So self-doubt, what happens is you need to start building self-trust so that you start to trust yourself more. So one thing I'd love you to do is, instead of, often we have a massive to-do list, right? Huge to-do list every day. And at the end of that to-do list, at the end of the day, we look at that and then we feel like we've failed, okay? Because we haven't done everything that's on our list. So what I'd love to start inviting you to do is to start to set yourself up to win, to be a winner. So first thing there is to actually, hi darling, lovely to see you. So first thing I'd like you to do is just to limit that, what you're going to say that you're going to do, to one thing a day. One thing you're definitely going to do. And then you can always have extra things. It's like, okay, if I do this and this is a bonus, because I want you at the end of the day to look at that list and to be like, okay, yes, I've done it. I've actually completed this. And you can feel good about yourself. You can feel like a winner. And also this builds trust in yourself so that you know that you can do what you say you're going to do. And that self-trust actually helps with the doubts, because we doubt ourselves. The third thing that I want to talk about is what we do is if you imagine you're in a relationship with yourself, okay? So one of the reasons why we doubt ourselves is because we are often in an abusive relationship with ourselves. We are often very critical of ourselves. We beat ourselves up a lot. So if you imagine you're in a room with someone who wants to be your friend, and they're really nice to you, and occasionally they just punch you in the face, okay? So that is the kind of relationship that we have often with ourselves. So what I'd like to invite you to do is start to begin to shift this relationship with yourself. So we doubt ourselves because we're on this kind of unstable ground with ourselves. You know, we like, at any minute we could be really vicious to ourselves in a way that we would never speak to anyone else. You would never speak to a friend the way you do to yourself. You would certainly never speak to a child the way you do to yourself. So starting to understand that self-trust, that relationship with yourself will increase, and it will be able to help you with your self-doubts. During this relationship with yourself that I'm inviting you to change, what you can start doing is having a different conversation with yourself. So instead of being from that place of very harsh and critical, you can start to shift your words, the way that you speak to yourself, in a way that is more encouraging, more supportive. I've got other lives that are about this. I'm going to do a specific training about this next week of how to shift that inner critic voice. I've done a masterclass recently about it. I'm also going to do a freebie about it because it's such an important thing. Because the thoughts that we have lead to a feeling, that leads to an action, leads to a result. And it's in that process that when you're actually starting to change the way that you're speaking to yourself, you change the way you feel about yourself. So those doubts are often coming from what you're telling yourself, the way that you're criticizing yourself.